Have you ever swallowed a question so big it felt like a fist pushing down your throat? My name is Sloan Hart, and I swear the soup spoon shook in my hand the second Grandpa asked about an email. I grew up on the edge of a town that puts established 1832 on cracked signs and thinks that counts as personality. Dad sold insurance he couldn't afford. Mom kept coupons in a shoebox like they might hatch into real money. I have one sibling, Cassidy, 4 years younger, 10 times louder, 100 times better at getting paid for doing nothing. She could sell sand in the desert and come back with a tan and a tip jar. I sold overtime at the daycare for graham crackers and minimum wage. So I guess we both learned supply and demand. Grandpa Edwin, Dad's dad, was the only person in our zip code who smelled like library dust and actually read the books. He lived in the same farmhouse his granddad built. Porch swing that still worked. Coffee that could restart a heart. Every July, he hired me to weed the vegetable patch. Paid in quarters and stories, both heavy enough to jingle in my pocket long after the sunburn faded. He told me once, "Money is just fertilizer, best when it's spread, not hoarded." I laughed because I was 12 and thought fertilizer smelled like shame. Turns out shame smells more like burnt coffee and desperation. But I wouldn't learn that until the email. Eli and I married young, broke, and happy. Best kind of happy if you ask me. We have 2 kids now. Lila, 9, collector of rocks and beetle names. Milo, 6, roars at everything because dinosaurs are still real in his world. Budget is tight, but tight is relative when you own cereal and Netflix, and a porch swing that still works. We live 45 minutes from the farmhouse, close enough for Sunday soup, far enough to breathe. Every December, Grandpa hosts soup night, hand rolls noodles, simmers bones 12 hours, serves from the same ceramic bowl his mom carried across the Oregon Trail. Tradition says you ladle. Clockwise for luck. Counterclockwise only if you want to explain why. I always go clockwise, extra parsley, extra luck. This year, he adds a new ritual. After soup, he passes a small white envelope to each grandkid. Cassidy rips hers like Christmas, finds a 20 and a peppermint. I open mine gently, same 20, same mint, but also a tiny silver star. The kind teachers stick on homework. He winks, says, "Keep that star close." Trust grows in the dark. I think he's being cute. I think I understand. Tax season hits like a migraine. Eli and I sit at the kitchen table, calculators and crumbs, trying to make rent and braces coexist. We talk about skipping vacation, again. We talk about selling the second car, again. We talk about Cassidy's new Cartier bracelet she flaunted on Instagram, captioned, "Treat yourself, babe." I screenshot it, drop it into a folder labeled Relativity, and try to forget. Grandpa calls one night, voice soft as sweater wool. He asks, "Did you get the email about your trust fund?" I laugh because trust fund is a phrase that belongs to people who use summer as a verb. I tell him I never saw an email. He goes quiet, so quiet I hear the kitchen clock tick like a judge. He says, "Check again." Subject line, silver star. If it's not there, someone deleted it. He hangs up without goodbye, and the room tilts. I open my laptop, scroll back 6 months, search every folder. Nothing. I check spam, trash, promotions, places I didn't know existed. Empty. I call Grandpa back, straight to voicemail. I call Dad. He laughs, says, "Dad's getting forgetful, don't worry." I call Mom. She says, "Trust fund? Must be a joke, honey. We're all broke." I hang up, taste metal, feel the silver star in my jewelry box suddenly weigh like a loaded die. Next Sunday, I drive to the farmhouse. Find Grandpa on the porch, rocking slower than usual. I ask about the email. He looks at me like I'm a stranger wearing his granddaughter's face. Then recognition floods warm and sad. He whispers, "They scrubbed it." I knew they would. He hands me a manila envelope, sealed with tape and tears. Inside, a printed email, header intact, dated 6 months earlier. Subject, Silver Star, Hart Family Trust Distribution. Body, Dear Sloan, you are the sole beneficiary of the Edwin Hart Living Trust. Value approximately $3.2 million. Effective immediately upon your 30th birthday. Funds transfer upon receipt of signed acceptance. Deadline, December 31st. Silver Star is your access code. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. My birthday was July 15th. Deadline is 19 days away. I asked Grandpa why he didn't call sooner. He says I did. Every day, your mother answered. Said you were busy. Said you'd call back. I mailed copies, they came back empty. I drove once, found your mailbox gone. replaced by a locked P.O. box I didn't have the key to. His hands shake. Old man rage wrapped in arthritis. I asked Cassidy to help me scan it, she laughed. Said trust funds are for trust fund babies, not preschool teachers. I feel the silver star on my neck burn like a brand. I hug him, bones rattling, and whisper, I believe you. I drive home, mind racing like a kid who ate the mint and the 20 and the star all at once. I check my mail, P.O. box key missing from the hook. I check my email trash, permanently emptied, every 3 days by a filter I didn't set. I confront Mom. She blinks too fast, says, your father handles the tech. I confront Dad. He sighs, rubs the bridge of his nose like he's erasing a mistake. Look, kiddo, your grandfather is getting senile. There's no money, just old man dreams. I show him the paper. He glances, shrugs, says, forgery probably. Cassidy's better at Photoshop than she admits. Cassidy posts a story of her new Louis Vuitton captioned, senility hits different when you're 26 and thriving. I screenshot it, drop it into relativity, and feel the folder grow teeth. I hire a lawyer, costs the last of our vacation fund. But Eli says justice is cheaper than therapy. Lawyer subpoenas bank records, trust documents, email servers. Results drip like a slow faucet. Trust exists. Funds transferred to an account in my name, then wired out the same day. July 15th. Signature scrawled in digital ink that looks like my handwriting if I'd been drunk, distracted, or dictated. Destination Cayman account. Holder listed only as Silver Star. Holdings. Lawyer says recovery is possible but will take years. Cost more than we have. He says somebody planned this like a heist, wore gloves, left no prints. I feel the room tilt again. Gravity forgetting its job. Grandpa gets sick. Pneumonia that moves like lightning through old wires. I visit daily, feed him soup, wipe his chin, whisper, I will fix it. He shakes his head. Says money is fertilizer. Let it grow where it's planted. He dies on a Tuesday. Porch swing still, soup cooling on the stove. I hold his hand until it goes cold. Slip the silver star back into his palm, because fertilizer belongs in soil. At the funeral, Mom cries pretty tears. Cassidy wears black Valentino. Dad stares at the casket like it might open and give directions. I stand to speak about clockwise ladles, about trust growing in the dark, about how some seeds need fire to bloom. I do not cry, I plant. I go home, open a new folder, label it fertilizer. I screenshot every Louis Vuitton, every Cartier, every mimosa toast, every locked P.O. box, every forged signature. I build a timeline, color-coded neon pink like the circles on the tax filings. I send it to the IRS, to the FBI, to the Cayman Bank compliance email that actually replies. I copy every cousin, every aunt, every Facebook friend who ever liked Mom's champagne photos. I write one line. Here is what your likes paid for. I hit send. Feel the room tilt back toward level. Hear the soft thud of dirt settling over a casket that finally holds something honest. Months roll. Investigations bloom. Subpoenas fly like winter birds. Mom's bank account frozen. Dad's car repossessed. Cassidy's apartment lease broken when rent bounces like a rubber ball on concrete. I receive a certified letter. Cayman account emptied by court order. Funds returning to source, interest included. Total, $3.4 million. I stare at the number until it blurs like wet ink. Lawyer calls, says, sign here. I sign, hand shaking. Silver star back in my palm, warm as soup. I drive to the farmhouse, porch swing creaking like a judge. I sit, rock, wait for sunrise. I open my phone, start a new email. Subject line, Silver Star, distribution complete. Body, dear Mom, Dad Cassidy, you are skipped this year. Things are tight. I attach a photo of the transfer confirmation, add a peppermint emoji for flavor, schedule send for Christmas Eve. I close the laptop. Breathe steady, surgical, free. I feel the silver star burn against my skin, fertilizer finally finding soil. But the soil shifts. 2 nights later, I wake to the smell of pipe tobacco in a house that has never seen a pipe. I check the kids, sleeping, peaceful. I check the doors, locked. I walk the hallway, barefoot, heart-counting steps. On the kitchen table sits a fresh white envelope propped against the sugar bowl. My name in ink I recognize, Grandpa's shaky scrawl, the same hand that signed the trust. But Grandpa is ash in a jar, so my lungs forget how to be lungs. I open it slowly, like diffusing a bomb made of paper. Inside, a single silver star, identical to the one I buried, chrome shining like a lie. Also a printed email, new date, new header, Silver Star, final distribution. Amount 11 million. Location, safety deposit box, 001, First National, your name only. Access code, clockwise ladle. Deadline, December 31st, keep it secret. Keep it safe. At the bottom, a handwritten note. Fertilizer burns when over-applied. Let the fields lie fallow. My hand shakes so hard the star falls, rolls, stops at my bare foot, cold as courthouse marble, heavy as a gavel. I stare at it, heart sinking to a rhythm I have never felt. Steady, surgical, terrified. The room tilts again, but this time I lean into the slope. Because I know the star is not a gift, it is a seed. And seeds grow even when you stop watering. I pick it up, feel the chrome warm against my palm, and I understand the first 3.4 million was just the down payment on a storm that hasn't even started. I hear the porch swing creak outside, though no wind blows. I see a silhouette through the frosted glass, shoulders hunched, rocking, waiting. Grandpa's shape, but Grandpa is ash. I step closer, heart banging like a judge who just remembered the verdict. The silhouette turns, tips an invisible hat, and vanishes into the dark like smoke that never existed. The swing keeps rocking, empty, steady, surgical. I clutch the star, feel it pulse once, twice, like a second heart learning how to beat. I whisper to the empty room. I am not done planting. The star answers with cold silence, a promise that the next root will grow where I least expect it. And the next beat will be louder than any diamond they ever tried to steal from me. Man, you have no idea how loud the world gets when the most expensive seed finally sprouts, and the only sound left is your own heart learning to beat in soil that never stopped moving. Stay till the last beat, because the seed just cracked the foundation. The star pulsed against my palm like it had a heartbeat that remembered every lie I'd ever been told. I stood in the kitchen, frost crawling the windows, kids asleep, Eli on night shift. And I felt the room breathe with me, slow, surgical, terrified. Grandpa's silhouette had vanished. But the porch swing still rocked, empty, like a metronome counting down to something I hadn't named yet. I locked the doors, turned every light on, and stared at the new email until the letters blurred. 11 million. Safety deposit box. My name only. Deadline 9 days away. I wanted to feel joy, rich people joy, champagne flute joy, but all I tasted was metal and smoke. Because the first star had nearly killed my kid. And the second one showed up like a promise that hadn't learned from the first. I drove to First National at dawn, kids buckled in pajamas, Lila's fingertips still dotted with silver bruises. The banker recognized me, same branch where I'd cashed daycare. Paychecks for years. He smiled, scanned my license, typed the access code, clockwise ladle. The vault door clicked like a judge's gavel. Inside box Aurora 1 lay a single flash drive and a sealed envelope, both wrapped in a velvet pouch the color of old blood. No money, no gold. Just silence wearing expensive fabric. I took the pouch to the private viewing room, heart banging like a dryer full of sneakers. The envelope was addressed in Grandpa's handwriting. Open only when alone, only when ready to finish what you started. I ripped it, hands shaking. Inside, a letter and a Polaroid. The photo showed Grandpa alive, standing next to a stainless steel vault I didn't recognize, holding a stack of bearer bonds thick as a phone book. Behind him, taped to the wall, was a newspaper headline dated 6 months before he died. Hart Family Trust embezzlement, 50 million unaccounted. The letter read, "If you're reading this, they took the bait." The 3.4 million was chump change, interest on the lie. Real fertilizer is in the vault behind me. Combination, your birthday backward. But first you must survive the star. Mercury was never for them, it was for you. It teaches lungs to value air. Now go collect what's yours. I dropped the photo. Felt the room tilt like a carnival ride built by a man who hated children. He hadn't been senile. He hadn't been forgetful. He'd been planting a field, and I was the scarecrow left to guard it while the crows tore themselves apart. The flash drive blinked like a heartbeat. I plugged it in. One file, a video, time-stamped the week he died. Grandpa on camera, pipe smoke curling, eyes sharp as new scissors. He speaks directly to me. "Sloan, your mother forged the first signature. Your father buried the evidence. Cassidy spent the interest on bracelets that bruise her wrists. I let them. I wanted them hungry. Hunger makes fingerprints sloppy. The bonds in this vault are bearer. No names, no trails, no taxes. 50 million. Cash equivalent. but you can't have them until you prove you can. Breathe poison and still plant flowers. Mercury was the final exam. Pass it and the field is yours. Fail it and the poison wins. Either way, the family starves. I love them enough to let them burn. I love you enough to let you choose the match. The video ended. Black screen. My reflection stared back, eyes wide, lips silver dry, heart sinking to a rhythm I finally understood. Survive, then sow. I closed the laptop, tucked the drive and the letter into the velvet pouch, and walked out of the bank with $50 million in my pocket and no one the wiser. The banker smiled, said, "Have a nice day, Ms. Hart." I smiled back, said, "I'm about to." I drove straight to the farmhouse, porch swing still rocking like it remembered every secret I'd ever whispered. I found the loose floorboard in the pantry, the one Grandpa and I used to hide cookies from Cassidy. I pried it up, found a steel hatch underneath. Combination dial. Numbers worn smooth. I spun my birthday backward. The hatch side open. Inside, a vault the size of a coffin, stacked with bearer bonds, each bundle banded in silver twine. I touched them, felt the paper hum like a hive. 50 million. Enough to buy every mimosa Mom ever toasted. Enough to burn every bracelet Cassidy ever flaunted. Enough to fertilize every field they ever left fallow. I sat on the floorboards, bonds in my lap, and cried for the first time since. Grandpa died. Cried because poison had taught me how to breathe, and money had taught me how to wait, and love had taught me how to starve while watching wolves feast. I cried until the tears ran clear. No silver left, no mercury, just salt and resolution. I closed the vault, replaced the floorboard, rocked on the porch until sunrise painted the sky the color of old receipts. Then I made a list. Simple, surgical, final. Step 1, open a new foundation, silver. Star survivors, pediatric. Mercury exposure, cardiac research. Legal aid for families poisoned by greed. Step 2, fund it anonymously. Bearer bonds laundered through donor-advised accounts. No names, no trails, no taxes. Step 3, invite Mom, Dad, and Cassidy to the inaugural gala. Black tie, open bar, oysters flown in while still twitching. Step 4, reveal the foundation's first commercial, a video of Lila's hospital room, IV lines, silver lips, mercury levels flashing across the screen, ending with a single line. Curated by the Hart family because poison should be shared. Step 5, let them watch the crowd applaud. Let them feel the spotlight burn. Let them realize the bar they are drinking from was paid for, with the bonds they never knew existed. Step 6, walk away, heartbeat steady, surgical, free. Gala night arrives like a judgment dressed in velvet. They show up, Mom in diamonds, Dad in rented tux, Cassidy in a gown so tight she breathes like a goldfish out of water. They sip champagne, nibble oysters, laugh the way vultures laugh when they think the carcass is someone else's. Then the lights dim, the screen lights up, and Lila's face appears, pale, silver-lipped, beautiful. Gasps ripple. Mom drops her glass, crystal shattering like ice on a lake too thin to hold her. Dad's face cycles through shades I have never seen on a human. Cassidy tries to run, but the crowd is a wall of applause and disgust. I step onto the stage, microphone live, heart steady. I speak, voice calm, room mic'd for acoustics and accountability. This foundation was funded by bearer bonds, anonymous, untraceable, laundered through love and revenge. The mercury that almost killed my child was planted by the man you called senile, fertilized by the greed you called ambition, harvested by the hands you never thought would hold a mirror. You drank his soup, you spent his interest, you breathed his star. Tonight you drink his consequence. Cheers. I raise my glass, water clear, cold. They do not drink. They stare, mouths open, like broken dolls finally realizing the house is on fire and the exit is locked. From the outside, I walk off stage, heels quiet on marble, heart beating once, twice, then locking into a rhythm I have never felt. Steady, surgical, free. Months roll. Mom checks into rehab, anxiety, alcohol, guilt. Dad files for bankruptcy, debts larger than the house he can no longer afford to heat. Cassidy moves to a studio apartment above a laundromat, posts photos of dollar store ramen, captions them humbled. I do not follow. I fund the foundation, watch the numbers climb like ivy over a wall that will never be white again. Lila finishes collation, paints a picture of a starfish made of flowers, titles it Daddy's Fertilizer. I frame it, hang it in the foundation lobby, under a plaque that reads, Grown from poison, watered by truth. Milo asks if we are rich now. I say, we are rich in oxygen, which is the only currency that never bounces. He believes me because 7 is still an age where Mom's voice outweighs the world. One night I drive to the farmhouse, porch swing creaking like a memory that refuses to die. I sit, rock, wait for sunrise. I open the velvet pouch, remove the shattered chrome pieces of the original star, sprinkle them into the soil beneath the porch swing. I whisper, grow something beautiful. Or stay buried. Either way, I'm done counting. I walk away, footprints aligned. Heart beating once, twice. Then locking into a rhythm I have finally earned. Steady, surgical, free. Man, you have no idea how quiet the world gets when the most expensive seed finally sprouts, and the only sound left is your own heart learning to beat. In soil that never asked to be poisoned, but flowered anyway. Subscribe because next year, I will live stream the first blossom, grown from chrome, and you can set your own pulse to the rhythm of a flower that refused to die.